would be nice to get that process started.
I agree.
That's okay. Can I get a look at 15 Pleasant?
That's from the street.
Yeah, I'm not. That doesn't ring any bells to me, John. That's new. Yeah.
No, they're not going down that way.
Yeah. No. Looks like you're first up, Matt. Pretty much after consent.
Don't have a quorum for you. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, we better check it.
Sorensen? Probably. What's that? It smells like spring.
Yeah, it's really. I wish they wouldn't tease us like this.
I don't think the birds are responsible.
The birds are tweeting all over the
That's
place.
what birds do.
Not, but they haven't been with all the blizzards and snow.
You're taking it personally, they're tweeting.
No.
Okay.
No, I just haven't heard them in a while today. They're all out in song.
Full the joys of life.
Yeah, they're going.
Because they're
No,
little,
I heard it like I do.
their little beaks are frozen shut, right?
Well, I heard
We have a little
Phoebe?
water feature in our backyard. We get red-breasted woodpeckers and stuff like that there, and they all line up next to the water feature. They just sit there and do the little drink from the little waterfall. It's so cute.
Is it a water feature or is it a dent in the lawn? Did you
Oh no! When I first moved in there, because it was Kim Cloud that put it in, I stood it and it was over my head. Yeah, it's maybe about 6 or 8 feet wide, but very deep. Yes.
You still have koi in it?
Yeah, and they had
Or did the
babies.
herons eat them all?
No, they had babies, and so we had a bunch of little fish in there now, and
fishing?
we have a snake that lives right around the rocks underneath there.
Where is
and
this?
the backyard.
I mean, where on the island?
Oh, Young's Way in Tacoma. Do you know where Lucinda Young's house?
Yeah. She's on Moore's End Lane, though, isn't she?
That's where she is now, but where my house was her house. She built that originally.
Oh, okay.
Which is why it's so odd looking, because it's out in the middle of nowhere when it was built. It's a classic example of you'll never see it because there's too much vegetation in the way.
That's not approvable.
Which one's that?
15 Pleasant. Electrical box needs some kind of screening. It can't just sit out there on the corner like that.
Oh, no, they're moving it. That's the application. To move things.
They move it from where to where?
Says small front window, basement window existing, move electrical service to more discreet location on the southeast side.
Yeah, I think that's it. That's brand new service that they're showing us, installed over brand new shingles. So that's where they propose to move it.
So it's an as-built, essentially.
It's an as-built is what it is, yeah.
What do you do if I have that situation? What do
You make them at least construct a cedar box with a door over the top of it so that it's not a big honking piece, yeah. And maybe you ask for some screening planting or something.
Yeah, because actually, as you mentioned, it does say it's past tense, moved electrical service.
Yeah. Did the original application include a location for the service? Because we had been asking for that kind of thing to be shown on the plans,
Right.
and maybe we're not being sufficiently vigilant about that. Kevin was really good about remembering to ask about that kind of thing.
That's Pleasant Street.
Yeah, 15.
All right, so that one you want to have tomorrow.
Yeah. Is Linda joining us?
My understanding, she's pulled in.
Who is on your agenda, Matt? Do you know? Who's sitting on yours?
It's Linda
What-
and John. And you.
Okay.
I'm sorry, John. William Silhogate with the last one.
Okay.
We don't know yet. I assume Linda will have more information.
Dawn's on here?
Have more information. I guess you won't have more information.
Well, Dawn was supposed to come because it was Dawn, myself, and John on Sorensen. Hold on. Because she's going to St. John's later on this afternoon. She said she would come for that.
Talking to her.
Huh?
I think they were going
It's a tough schedule.
Yeah.
It's a tough schedule.
I still want to be her luggage bearer.
My air morning consists of laundry and dishes.
Hey, Linda, can we do this on the 6th, next meeting, at the end of the next meeting? The 4th?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have it on my desk.
Thank you.
James, remember that John's, I had it on last week, but we had such a long agenda on Tuesday, I took it off.
The meeting protocol.
Yeah, under commission comments, meeting protocol. Put it back on there for the 4th.
Correct. Yeah, he previously had a large case open.
Now, Abby, are you going away somewhere?
Yeah, because it's forced on me.
Are you expecting Diane today?
Probably not. It's hard for, because Diane has to come in from work to get her.
Yeah, it's not so much 2 rooms.
Where are you going?
We usually go to New Jersey, but we're not this year. We're just hanging out here for the first time in like 20 years.
So you're not going away?
No, Hyannis is looking pretty good to me right now. So where are you going to go?
I'm going to visit some friends in Boca Grande.
There's
No?
a place on the Cape called Balls to the Wall for kids.
Yes, I'll tell you about it after the meeting. Are you coming? I know you are trying to leave. Okay, I'll just tell him to sit tight. All right, bye.
Wait, so what's
All
wrong
right,
with
bye.
Boca
She's
Grande?
coming. She's just going nuts trying to pack to get out. It's warm.
Oh, I thought you didn't like it.
No, it's warm.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
I'm standing over my heating vent at home. It's warm to me. Balls to the Walls is a paint place as well as a skateboard
Right,
place
right,
as well
right,
as a. It's pretty cool. I took Evan and one a birthday party over there. It's really cool, and they got video games and stuff like that. It's if you drive down past Kmart and you have that traffic light before you get to the big traffic light,
Yeah.
right? Take a right.
Used to be Sue's Steakhouse or something.
Something was up there, but if you take a right and go up,
Yeah.
just to the left of Kmart Mall, right at that light, take a right.
Yeah.
And up about 300 feet on the left, you can miss it. It's on the left, it's a big square building, and it's got both things in it.
The office park right before that is where my sleep apnea study, which is really weird. You go into this bland office space, and then you go there, go to the room, and it's like a cute little frilly bedroom you can sleep in all day, monitoring with all kinds of.
Well, you know, you can
I woke up
also,
over more than 100 times that night. Without
Jesus.
real- 'cause
I
you
wake up,
partway,
I
you
know
just
I'm
don't
woken
stop
up.
breathing.
I know I wake up every 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Know that.
with that horrible feeling of sleep apnea.
Oh, yeah.
So I have to use the-
She's coming.
Were you aware of the fact that you woke up during the night before you?
Only that I woke up sometimes with no oxygen in my lungs. And
You
not
knew
able
you
to
weren't
breathe.
breathing.
But I didn't know that I was waking up just a little bit.
Microbursts,
and
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Did
then,
you choke? Did you have a choke?
and I would kind of choke, and then I was starting to fall asleep at the clerk's office during the day because of that. It's like,
Oh.
what was going on?
I just know I wake up, I just don't sleep all the way through.
Yeah.
My daughter has central apnea and sleep apnea. And it's, yeah, there's actually diet. Just read a new book about that. Something that's inflammatory, dairy, meat.
Yes, dairy and meat, dairy definitely.
And perfumes, there's all sorts of triggers.
Yeah, I have the perfume trigger.
PhD, so it's a little worried.
Mine's the result of my muscular dystrophy, so the muscles just don't.
They just
sustain
don't
the areas
work.
open, just collapse at night.
Do you have to wear the thing?
Hmm?
Oh, you have to wear it every night?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Me too.
do they ever think that you guys don't have to wear it at some point, or is this it?
My wife was calling me Diver Dan last night under the covers. That's not what.
It depends.
Yeah, we don't know.
They can apparently hack up the folds. Like
So
you
it
do like
stays away from it.
Like in the roof of your car with the
Yes.
staples. You need operations for it.
It keeps it away from shutting it off. Yeah. Do you really want to go there?
Right, exactly. I actually don't mind. I'm so used to it now. I look forward to it. When I don't have it, I'm more, like from Nantucket.
We left them to
Oh, is
form
it
for
electric?
the club.
Yes.
Sorensen. No, we're okay on
Bella
everything else.
or somebody there.
All right, we might as well just go. Guys, we might as well just go ahead with the consent and some of this other crap. Sorensen is the one that we need Dawn for.
And Madam Chair, there was one to come off consent for consideration before we go.
I'd like to discuss 15 Pleasant Street, so when we get there.
Okay.
Do you want to open the meeting?
Yep. All right, we're going to open the meeting at 1:12 of the continuation of Tuesday night, February 18th meeting. It is February 20th today. Present are John McLaughlin, Abby Camp, David Barham, Linda Williams. We are taping, is the TV on?
Yes.
All right, we have a videotape and we have an audio tape. If anybody else would like to tape it, please let me know. I understand there's one change to the agenda. Number 2, Matthew Sanford is going to be open, so any public comment?
You guys are doing a great job.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, you do that every 6 months,
Throw it out there.
That's the last shred of hope he
Yeah.
has for approval on his
And what
next
do you want?
application.
When? Do you want to accept the agenda?
Motion to accept the agenda, yes.
David's made a motion to accept the agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that's unanimous. And no public comment other than that. And consent. David wants to pull number 2 off, so you want to approve all the rest of them?
Motion to, the numbering system is very
I don't know
unusual
what happened
here.
to it.
312.
My motion is to remove agenda item number 1, Middle C, LLC, 50, no, I'm sorry.
No,
Number 2,
Matt Sanford.
Matt Sanford, 15 Pleasant Street, for review by the full board.
Okay, so everything else is, you're making a motion to approve?
Yes.
All right, David's made a motion to approve Nantucket Skating Club, Middle C, NIR Retail, Brisky, Dolenti, and Cantivero. All those in favor?
Aye.
Abby?
Aye.
John, you're abstaining?
Yes.
All right, John abstained, and it's all the rest of us 3 in favor. Okay, you want to look at Matt Sanford's?
Yes, please.
The only reason I was questioning it, but the only reason I put it on consent is because historic structures had no concerns. Yeah, and I spoke to a couple of them, so there you go.
Well, it's not appealing, but it is unusual.
The reason I have asked this to be taken off the consent agenda for discussion by the board is that it shows a very large electrical service box 18 inches back from the corner of the house. The house is right on the street, and typically with electrical service like that newly installed, we ask that it be shielded with a cedar natural to weather box and door, so that all of this equipment and hardware is not a primary architectural feature of
It
the
used to be on
building.
the front, but does it impact your ability to do it by the little thing in the truck? They don't have to get out and open the box?
Well, the box can be left unlocked. I don't care about that.
No, they don't get out anymore. They drive by with a thing.
I think not, because we've been asking to have this done for the last couple of years, and nobody has come back to us and said can't do it.
Then make a motion in that to that effect.
My motion is that the new electrical box on the side of the house at 15 Pleasant Street be enclosed in a cedar natural to weather box
All those in favor?
with a door, yes.
Except this door. Yeah. Okay, all those in favor of David's motion? David, all
Yes.
those in favor of David's motion?
Aye.
And John's in favor, that's unanimous.
Now read by radio signal, so they don't even go up and look at it anymore.
We're going to hang on to Sorensen for a minute.
Okay, everybody else needs to check it, because sometimes.
I'm abstaining from Sanford as well.
Oh, Terry, John abstained from Sanford, so it's 3 in favor and 1 abstention. Okay, we're going to go to new biz. Let's go, guys. Perlman.
What happened to Sorensen?
We have to hold it until Dawn gets here, because it's just you, me, and Dawn.
Thank you.
Is that? I don't understand what NSUI means. Now I know what it means. Nantucket
Try to
Structures
keep you on your
Unlimited,
feet.
Inc.
Mm-hmm.
I got it. You know, it keeps showing up, James, on the agendas in Nisui, and I'm going, who is Nisui?
What are we talking about?
NSUI. Now I've got it. Nantucket Structures.
Okay. All right. You're gonna sleep like a baby right now.
I'm going to catch up at some point too.
We have one for Joan.
Go.
Here.
Okay, for Derry Moore, an application for revisions to previous COA 57710, height increase by 2 feet, adding, changing, and eliminating fenestration. That's it, Madam Chair.
Paige, representing the applicant.
Yeah, Paige Holdgate for Structures Unlimited.
Could you repeat that, please?
Paige Holdgate,
Thank you.
P-A-I-G-E.
just P-A-G-E.
I was going to ask you P-A-G-E.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Well, our client just wants to be able to add a storage loft above the sort of first floor living area. And so in order for him to get things up to there, he's going to need a little more height, 2 feet. And I think his original plans had some very small 2/2 windows at the gable. And since he's going to go higher, we thought that there was room for for a slightly larger window, at least on the back. On the front, he won't be able to access that window because it'll be up very high. So he's going to stick with the smaller window in the front, but he would like to have 2 windows on the back, one in the bathroom and one up where the loft would be. And he would like to have 2 windows on the, what side is that? The side facing his home.
It's east.
Okay. And I think that's
Is there a
it.
ruler, James, in your boots?
David, one of the reasons why this didn't go on consent, because I don't know how long the garage has been there, but it's been a long time. For some reason, the locust plan
Yeah.
shows a completely different structure there.
I can explain that.
Yeah, what happened there?
Well-
This garage has been around for a while.
What happened there is that's actually 2 buildings, and they're both exactly right on the lot line. Those are 2 garages side by side. You can kind of see it in this picture right here.
But not on the site plan. Oh, they've got one on the wrong lot then. That's what's missing, is the lot line. Because that other garage
Right.
doesn't belong to them, it belongs to the
That's
neighbor.
right. I mean,
All
there
right.
should be sort of a line down the middle.
Here's the lot line.
I just realized that today, too.
That's what the problem was, because I knew there was only one structure here and one structure next door.
Yeah.
Where you see the split in the building?
Yeah.
That's a lot line,
Okay.
because they're right next to each other. On different planes, because it starts to go uphill there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're just dealing with the one.
But this is the, do you have these photographs?
Yeah. Dawn, do you have any concerns?
No.
That's the set of the garage door.
No.
David?
Let me ask a question about the plan.
Okay.
At the back of the building, you've got a full bathroom. And then going into that bathroom, is that a loft staircase that's going up?
I think it's just a storage loft, and so he's just going to use sort of
Pull down.
A ladder of some
Yes.
kind? Okay. All right. Well, what I notice about your elevations and your plans, your plan shows a window on that back wall over the toilet. But in fact, your elevation shows the window in the middle of the wall. So the window is going to straddle the toilet and the sink to its left. Not only that, but in order to make room for the double-hung window up above,
I can select that.
you have moved the double-hung window in the bathroom down. And so that window is going to occur right down the back of your sink.
That's the existing window.
I'm comparing the height of your windows and
This
doors
is the existing.
on the front. I mean, I was wondering how it was that if at the front elevation, you've got double-hung windows and you've got a little bit of space and you've got an upper sash. And then I look at the back and you've got somehow suddenly enough room for a full double hung up above. And the way that you've done that is you've moved your window down about 15 or 16 inches. So that window sill is down around your knees, which is going to be interesting when you go to install a sink to it.
Or a toilet in front of that window.
So
Half sashes, they should
I
both
don't
be half
think
sashes.
there's
think
any
they're
point in us
smaller.
improving something that's not really buildable for you.
Paige, it should be half sash, half sash.
Okay.
See this? Half sash,
Okay.
half sash. I think that's how you're going to be able
Well-
to theoretically get in there.
Our owner, did the measurements, and he chose this window, which is smaller than a regular 6/6.
I don't think it's going to work, Paige. It's not
It's
drawn small.
still
It's drawn
happening
drawn
down
bigger
around your
than
knees.
it's drawn bigger than the front window.
Okay, so you want this 3/3?
I think you should go 3/3 on both the top and the bottom
Okay.
because it fits in the front also.
Okay.
The 3/3.
It's actually, is it a 3/3 or is it a 6-light sash?
3/3.
Okay, 3/3. Okay. So, I'm in favor of that change.
Okay. Hey, Abby, anything to add? No. Dawn? John?
Oh, yeah, you got a 6-light window there? Is it a hopper?
No, it's going to be 3/3. She just agreed to 3/3. She said she would put a 3/3 in.
Oh, the one that's upstairs. Thank you.
David?
Motion is to approve with following change to the south rear elevation. The upper double hung is to be swapped out for a 3/3 double hung, and the C window unit at the first floor level is to be raised to a height matching the other windows.
We were going to
at
do it. It's a too big a window.
Huh?
We were going to do a 3/3 there also, over the toilet, higher up.
2 3/3s?
Yes. The back of it's not really that visible because they're going to put a house behind it.
If they go with the B unit, they can probably get it just over the top of that toilet.
Okay. So the first floor will be a B unit. Okay. So,
Yeah, so the
instead of a
south-
C, it goes to a B.
Right. First floor on the south elevation, first floor will be a B window unit installed at the same height as the other B window units
And
on
then
the
on the
building.
north elevation, the A window goes to a 3/3.
Correct.
Okay, then I have to go back.
All right, I'll repeat it. David's made a motion to approve with the south rear second floor window going to a 3/3. The first floor on the south, the C window goes to a B window. On the north, the A window in the gable goes to a 3/3. And Paige, are you repainting it to match the house?
Yes, it's going to match the existing.
Okay, because right now it's a totally different color and it looks bizarre.
That's why he wants to get rid of it.
And
But you
that's
don't
part of
have
the
colors
motion
here.
also.
You don't have colors.
Well, I think the previous certificate did. I didn't duplicate all the information. I included the previous certificate with the
Well,
packet.
we're going to go white, right?
Okay.
Because the window color isn't even on here. White, white. Okay, white and white, and the door is going to be white?
Yes, everything's going to match the existing.
Okay. So I just went white, white, white. All those in favor of David's motion?
Aye.
Yes. Okay, that was unanimous.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're going to go back to Sorensen, so Dawn can go on her plane to St. John's.
Excuse me?
You leaving today?
Yep.
I'm going to Hyannis, but
And then she's going to St. John's tomorrow.
St. John? Can I go with you?
No, we're stacking up to carry her luggage. I'm first, David second, you're third.
Yeah. That'll be next year.
Yeah, next year.
I won't be around
I'm
next
going
year.
to babysit. That's what I'm doing. They're walking the park compared to Evan.
21 Woodbine Street, application
give
from
them time.
Ruth Cabana, last heard on February 4th with the board. Board at that time was Williams, Hill Holgate, McLaughlin.
Okay? And representing the applicant?
Matthew McEachern.
We had a ton of previous concerns, right?
Well, this one, there was a couple of ones. There was by the neighbor, a Mr. Barham from 6 Pine Street.
Huh?
Public comments.
Not on
Where they give
Woodbine.
Entrance on the shower to go to the ground. There's no wall between the bar and outdoor shower. He's in favor of that. Shouldn't be white, and boards should run vertical instead of horizontal. Shingle would be preferable. Motion to hold for revision.
So I'll go through it real quick. So this is a cabana. We added the wall that David had brought up, which was basically a drafting error. We changed the board and batten to run vertical. That's natural. The intent with that is that it's because there's a bar there. You'd be kicking it, and shingles will get pretty beat up. We simplified the trim. The main house is all white trim, so to do a natural cabana is just going to look absolutely out of place, and so
We don't want to see it, that's the point.
I don't know if you will. I mean, you know where this is, right? I mean, it's at the end of the road, and I feel like it's so, I just don't think, I'm sure you'll see the back side of it, but again, I think it would actually look more awkward if it was not white trim. And the owner, I'm just going to tell you, is at the point where he's like, there's no way I'm not building it without white trim. He's talked to an attorney, and I said, let's just see if we can't work it out. I know, I'm just trying to explain to you that it's been dragged out for months and months and months. We've reduced it, we've simplified it. He's really not budging on the white trim at all, and I mean, to get it to this point, just the reason I tell you that is like 2 meetings ago, he's like, I don't want to make any more changes, and I'm just trying to make it so that we can get it and put it to bed.
Who does he think is in charge of this?
He knows that you are, but I think the perception is that it's such a small scale structure. The rest of the structures are all white trim, and so it's just difficult for him to understand, myself included, honestly. I mean, if it was a tiki hut, I would say, okay, great, it's all natural.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
This is a bizarro-looking thing.
Planting as a condition of
And
approval.
that's what the problem is. If it was a traditional, just a regular old cabana, we wouldn't be still talking about it. The fact that it's a bizarre, and I use a capital B, looking structure that's totally atypical,
It's got all these
we wouldn't
windows.
have this discussion.
Okay, so
It's
then
not like
that's,
it's just corner
If the
boards.
design is the problem.
yeah. So
With white, the design is the problem.
Can I
John, I'll ask John, because Don and I are on the same page. Do you have any comments?
Yeah, out of curiosity, I have a comment. I've never known us to approve a flat screen TV open on the outside wall.
all right.
I've never seen any of that. We're just about
It is a tiki hut. You did use the word correctly. It's got a bar on the outside of it, stools, it's got white columns, it's got what? No,
smash it
the
out.
trim is too heavy. That's another problem. The trim is too heavy.
We've reduced that compared
Good
to.
enough
Still
wall-
too
But
heavy.
it's like, if you could make the elevation, sorry, John.
You got enough wall space, I'd put a box in, it opens, and it's got it. Box it.
But it's the side that faces the road. If you eliminated the posts, if it was just corner
Is it-
boards and all that outdoor shower stuff was totally natural.
That
But it's
is-
like there's white, there's white,
White,
there's
there's
white,
white.
there's white.
There's white, there's white,
There's
white,
four
there's
strips
white.
of white facing the road.
And some
then
bizarre-
on this side,
You
from
can-
any side visuals, there's 3 columns.
And a
that are
huge
each white.
gable, which is inappropriate for this tiny little structure.
Can I ask you a
It
question?
just make it a
So
box.
this is natural.
Not working. It's the roof system itself, to me,
I could pull
is
this
ridiculous.
flush.
I don't think it should have a cross gable on a little teeny weeny structure.
I could get rid of the cross gable.
I think you should just do a rectangle, and then we could probably work with the rest of it.
If it wasn't, sorry, just 'cause I'm trying. So if this was just an eave straight across.
Yeah, it's just a rectangle. They got rid of this, it would get rid of
And
all
get
this
rid of all
crap,
the posts, just put corner boards on it somehow.
or a corner post. And not a post, when you get rid of this, this goes away.
Right.
I mean,
These two posts go away.
what it is it's drawing attention to look at me, look at me, look at me. And a cabana is not supposed to do that. It's simply an adjunct to the pool. Then we got an outdoor bar all the way around it. I mean, this is
That you're never
crazy.
going to see. I mean, I can get rid of the cross gable.
I think you need to simplify the structure and get rid of as much
And
white as
I've
possible.
seen little ancillary structures that are separate from white trimmed houses that are natural.
So,
But it's,
so if I could just because if I can get some clear direction to go
Simplify
back to So lose the cross gable.
Simplify.
The idea with the half bath with the outdoor showers, that's a really nice feature.
I don't care if it has an outdoor shower on
Yeah.
the east side. But it's not going to be all white trim, white columns, white cross gable, white this, white that. He's not building a cabana. He's building something, oh, look at me. And out there, with so little ground cover, it's not working.
Okay, so let me, sorry.
if you could make that roadside so that the batten doors go into a solid wall that just has corner boards rather than those heavier posts.
I think I have another idea too, that just to float out to you guys, is that basically you've got the two outdoor showers, and then there's a solid mass where the half bath is.
Yeah.
So say hypothetically the roof came up, came back down, only as far as identifying the cabana area. But then say I had like an intersecting gable of some sort, and then just basically outdoor showers that were not covered and do not have white posts. Do you know what I mean?
It may go that way. We'd have to see it.
Just so you're losing those two outside corner posts, and then literally it's a simple roof structure, comes up, goes down, and then I can even maybe it's a shed, not a gable.
And if you can make it, the wall solid, like John said, the three sides that were visible, solid, and have all the open area towards the pool. That's normally what happens. We don't have three open sides. That's where the problem for me is also. I don't care what he does towards the pool, frankly.
So just so you
And
know,
have the bar towards the pool.
the roof, this would be the back, there's
No
the
cross
roof,
gable.
or a shed, so maybe it's a
It's
shed.
shed. The whole damn thing is shed.
And that's just outdoor shower.
Yeah, that may work. But it's towards, everything open is towards the pool. Anything to add, Mr. Member of the Public?
I really like it. Thank you, David.
James, what is the deadline on this one? This has been hanging around for so long, I don't even know anymore.
It's been a really long time.
But the guy's not listening. He's forcing you in between us and him.
He's actually he's not,
He got everything else on this lot, including a pool on the roadside, which, because the road's going away.
yeah, the road's going away. It's already sold.
Yeah, I think the roof in that 12,
25th is the 60 days from the last request for an extension.
Wander over there.
Okay.
Otherwise
Can
we'll
I get
deny it.
David's comments?
I think the roof
As a
looks-
member of the public.
As a member of the public, not as a commissioner sitting on the application, I think the roof at 12 pitch, particularly with the cross gable,
Yeah.
is very heavy. And it's funny to me that you've got, you're staying with the vertical boarding at the bar section. All the time we hear from people that they've got to have a covered porch in front of the front door, despite the fact that it's really not something you see historically on the island. And yet here the bar is sticking out the sides of the building. If you're determined to have the forward gable, you ought to stretch that building out and have people sit under cover so you've got some more main ridge to carry that forward gable on, because
I don't like the gable at all, dude.
the
I'm
building
out.
would be better without it totally.
I'm out with the gable.
Yeah.
All right. I think I have enough
So
direction.
you can even break the back towards the pool.
To go to the floor.
So you can sit underneath it with the bar, you know what I'm saying? And have
Yep.
all that use towards the pool and not the three sides.
Motion to hold for revision.
All right, John's made a motion, but you got to go over there and sign that extension. Otherwise, we'll deny it right now. John's made a motion to hold for revisions. All those in favor? John? Okay, go right there now and sign an extension.
I think he's still.
No, we don't meet next week.
No, what I'm saying is he's still at the table. I could just bring it down to him.
No, he's up. Go.
So,
You don't have to go anywhere.
okay.
He's coming to you.
Go.
Actually, I am next. Anyways.
I would do it into April because we have to file the thing, and it's obviously got to come back on the 4th of March, so
Okay.
it's got to process and be filed.
If there's, I won't be here.
Oh, you'll be here on the 6th, though.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll probably go to the 6th, but you still got to give us enough
There's no
time to
meeting on the
file it.
4th, right?
No, there is a meeting on the 4th.
There's no meeting
Next week.
Oh, okay.
Dawn isn't coming back
I
to
just
the
won't
night of
be
the
back.
4th, so we'll have
Okay.
to put it on the 6th. I'll make a note of that. James, make a note of that. It's got to go to the 6th.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. And now we're on to Burns.
Huh?
You need to fill that out right now.
I know.
Otherwise,
Putting
before
pressure
Dawn
on me.
leaves,
You're putting pressure.
you either do it or I'll reopen it right
All
now.
right.
Hang on,
How
Dawn,
can I sign it if you have it?
because you're dragging your feet.
I'm just-
Was the 24 Nonantum, Madam Chair, as you're
Yep.
recalling, I was uncertain which two was supposed to be on consent, so I brought them both. One of them was on consent, the other one wasn't. Is the
One is one thing and one is something else, but I
I
didn't
could-
know if they were the same thing.
Beautiful summation.
Whatever I looked at was on consent.
I could
Now,
probably
are
tell
there
you.
two applications?
Yeah, there's one for the main house and there's one for the garage. And the main
one is a
house,
complete redesign?
yeah, exactly.
That would be the main house.
No, it's the garage.
So
The main house, literally, there's an existing walkout,
Right.
and the owner asked us to shift it back.
Yeah, that was okay.
This is the one that was on consent.
Yes, the one with the basement. Yeah, I wrote basement down on my notes.
That's all it was.
One with
A really
basement
small
is on
change.
consent.
I did
The
that
other
in
one,
writing.
yeah, there we go.
This
Did
was-
I haven't signed any of those consents.
No, one of them was like
Yeah.
6'3", and one was 9'5". I mean, they were very
Yeah, I couldn't
very
tell.
close.
Sitting there on Friday night again, I couldn't tell.
Is there something for me to sign? Oh, I don't need to sign.
No, but he's got to sign this before you leave the room, otherwise we have to reopen it.
71 Anthem Avenue, an application to revise previous COA 60593. Complete redesign, height of bridge above final finish grade 21 feet 6 inches. That's it for me, Madam Chair.
Where do you want to go, April 1st?
Sure. I mean, if I don't sign that, could it
We're going to reopen it and deny it, because
And
we didn't
then-
get the reading that we wanted,
appeal it?
and you're not getting anywhere. They won't overturn us on this, not
Right.
this kind of thing. There's nothing substantive to it.
So, can I go through this?
No, you sign it right now, because she has to
You
leave
feel
to go to the
pressure?
plane.
The more someone gives me pressure, the more I'm like,
That's nice. Otherwise, we'll reopen it and deny it.
And-
And I don't think you want that. That's going to hold you out another month.
Pressuring a Scotsman at your own peril.
Yeah,
I
at
know.
your own peril.
I'll lash out.
Here, that goes back, David. Okay, now we're on to Burns.
So what this is so this is a previously approved garage that we had approved, and the owner wanted to just make it a little bit more interesting and add a little bit more character to it. And
Hang on one second.
that's what this
Is it going to
represents.
be accessible by email? Did you hear back?
It's towards the back of the lot. I'd also like to point out, pretty far from the road. If you look at the site plan, it's tucked pretty far back there.
John,
Garage
you have-
doors do not face the road.
John. What's that one? Oh, you've got one. Where am I? Oh, garage. You're making a career out of Surfside, aren't you? One after the other.
No, just
You're Surfside.
tiresome.
Neighbors say, I like what I see there, and I want to have that on my own property.
Yeah,
Yeah. That part of Nobody Avenue is not open.
right. It's pretty far from the road.
Do we have a picture of the main house?
It's not built.
Always
have a
bring the
previous
previous approval when you're doing, and it's going to be
Okay.
part of the submission requirements, just so you
Would that
know.
be part of the other,
I think because it was such a significant redesign.
It,
would it be with the?
Yeah.
Yes, it
yeah,
would be.
definitely would be.
Would you reduce that, or would you want the whole plan?
just to
Reduced set is fine.
I didn't put this anywhere near consent because of the cupola, the returns, all kinds of stuff. The tent roof. The 8 pitch. I can keep going. I think I looked at it with the main building. David, let me see the one that was approved.
I'm going to, just a second. I think,
It didn't track the house at all.
it doesn't track the house. I think that
That's a big concern. for
the
me.
building you propose has attractive qualities, but it's actually higher style than the house.
This one's smaller, do you think?
No.
I didn't think the design was appropriate at all. With some modifications. maybe.
Well, let's assume that this design represents the desire by the owner to do something other
Fancy.
than what was approved. How can we give Matt some constructive direction?
I've got constructive direction.
Shed, dormer across the front.
The pitch is wrong?
Pitch matches the house.
No, it doesn't. The house is 10, this is 8.
What's that intersecting gable?
Which makes it look this way. This is 8.
All right.
That's not appropriate. The returns aren't appropriate, you don't have those
Trying
in
to
the
keep it
house.
low.
The house is very simple, which is great design. This is not. This is something totally different from the house. The cupola is inappropriate. The windows are not the same design as the windows. They are more squat and horizontal than the house ones. And you have C windows on the house that would work. The pent roof is a little hard to swallow on both the garage and the side door.
Yeah.
I don't care about the V windows.
They're also too high, they should come down 4
Yeah.
inches.
And then the height of the thing isn't an issue at all.
That's a function of the 8 pitch.
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay.
But this is not good. This cross gable, and you look at the east and the west, doesn't work at all.
The cross gable thing's not happening.
Not working at all,
Okay.
period.
Yeah.
And the cupola and the height of the eave is actually higher than should be. I mean, I understand it's a garage. So the roof system to me is the biggest problem.
The details are all nice.
But the windows don't match anything in the house, and they should be the C windows, not new A windows.
Cross gable,
No, the whole roof system. is
Pent
wrong.
roof.
Pent roof.
okay. So you're
Not the
saying,
fact that there's a garage there.
Motion to hold for revisions?
Do you have anything to add?
What is that?
it's a backwards B, John, sorry. When we mirror the elevation, sometimes the tag doesn't update.
Was that a new window thing?
Yeah, it's a new language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So it should be more stylized in the house, which is a good design.
Sure.
So David, you want to make a motion?
Motion to hold for revisions.
David's made a motion to hold for revisions.
My
All those in
comment,
favor?
pupil is inappropriate.
Yeah, we
I didn't
got
get a
that.
chance to speak. I didn't get a chance to speak.
We cut that off right at the beginning.
I didn't get a chance to speak.
All right, so that's held for revisions. All in favor?
All right?
Okay, that was unanimous.
Shedding.
What are you shedding from? The dog?
Yeah.
Well, I think there was shame.
No,
Shedding?
no, there's no shame.
There's no Lent
There's
going on with
honor in this
ashes and stuff at
process.
this point, right?
That's
You
what I
become better.
Home
You
and
become
honor.
better when you get fatigued.
There's
always no shame.
roll that on off.
If I felt shame,
Now let the record reflect that Dawn left at 1:40, or whatever it is you have over there, Terry.
Devon Bell Valley, application for a color change.
I opened it and closed it, because the reason why we approved it is that it's not white.
Okay.
And I know you've been back already for this, and I'm still, me personally, not happening.
so may I just
Go
make a
ahead.
quick and brief presentation?
I know you know the futility, but
I know, but I mean, every house with the exception of one or two on this road has white trim.
no, we've
And
actually beat the crap out of a couple of others that you haven't been involved with.
Who was the one across the street? He did get
Lampy.
approved white. It was the guy from Lyman Perry that you guys said, no white,
Rex.
no white, no white.
I mean,
Wasn't Rex.
Yeah.
He got white. So now the other thing is, I did come in here with color swatches that were gray and a cream.
A Dove gray is too light.
It was a gray. I mean, we could play around with the gray, but I think I got, and I love, my suggestion would be, can I bring in those color swatches? I can actually show you an example of a house that has the color combination, and I really feel like that is an appropriate solution. I mean, I'm trying to get, just trying to come to a conclusion here.
But Matt, the reason why this was no way, no Jose twice now. Column, 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 huge cross gable, dormers. That was one of the reasons why it's not going white. And this design was predicated on the fact that it had to meet rural road guidelines, and it's not our problem if previous boards were squirrely and didn't know anything about the rural road guidelines. That's immaterial. We're not going to continue on with violating the rural road guidelines on a house of this design and this size on this smaller lot, because some of those other lots are bigger in different situations, and has columns. How many columns, David? 10 across the front? 10 across the front. White columns. Not happening. On a shingle, you did a good job of trying to get it simplified because it's shingle style, because it's got kind of corners.
Yeah, I like it.
But it's not going to have white trim in my lifetime. I don't know how the rest of you feel.
And I think that not only is it not in accordance with the rural road guidelines, but you've adopted an architectural style to which white paint is not a natural match. This is a shingle-style house, and it would have had a darker color trim work on it.
What's the sash color? Didn't we make that dark? Is that gray?
I don't know what you ultimately approved, but I think it's all gray on gray.
I think it's gray and gray.
Yeah, I mean, if I could, Madam Chairwoman, just to respond to that, there are examples of shingle-style homes with white trim, specifically on the island. I mean, I can cite them.
And you're in trouble with the one in Sconset because you want to go white, and we said no that because it's very
It's not
similar
really- It's not
design.
in trouble, it's a pursuit of trying to give you
Column,
what your
column,
client
column.
wants.
On a
And
shingle style.
there are historic precedents for the white trim. I think suffice it
Not
to
here.
say, I think I know where the board stands on this issue. My suggestion would be if we could hold this for revisions, and I can come back with color swatches for review.
But don't bring that Dove gray back in here. That's white.
Yeah, it's not dove gray.
Yeah.
And I can actually also bring a photograph of a color combination that I'm building.
Did you make a statement, there's another house out there that has the same two-color change? You said.
There's a house that,
James,
about the color change.
Wherever it is.
Yeah,
Sorry?
Did you
time.
get a picture of it?
certainly, yeah.
I'll put it, it shows it, because in 1967,
All right, so we got a little bit of
this
time.
commission,
There is
in
one other.
1967, this commission made a policy that any structure can be
We
painted
could put
Nantucket
this on the
gray.
when you're talking about. Oh,
Nantucket gray.
there's a
I'm
reason
talking,
we
Linda,
expect
would you listen, please?
He was saying something.
In 1967, commission made a policy in the minutes that any structure on the island can be painted Nantucket gray or white. And they've stuck with that for years until about maybe 15, 17 years ago. It changed over. You couldn't, you could have natural, but they made an open policy, like split rail fencing, 2 rail fencing, the same policy. It's still on the books. And I find a lot of that, no matter if you've got a gray house next to a pink house, you want to paint it white, you can paint it white. No, but why, we have not changed to abolish the old policy. That's why it's still there. And we don't go by any of our rules and regulations, and they're in the back of our guidebook, the new guidebook. So we got now, it's on only one page for the old HTC, and that's what it was for.
John, we adopted the rural road guidelines, which said no. That was also
disagree with
adopted. How old is that rural road guideline? I don't even remember when that happened. It was before my
The original
time.
one was in the 90s.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Okay, so
I'll look it up.
David, you're making a motion to hold for
Yeah,
revisions,
almost.
right?
I'm about to comment. Matt, there are some shingle-style houses that have got white, I think for 2 reasons. One is that some just got painted white over the years, and they stayed that way.
Some without permission.
Some without permission, but, I think once they go to white, we tend not to force people to change the color. And so some have been white for maybe 60 or 70 years that were not originally white when they were built. The other thing is there are some shingle-style houses that included more classical elements and more molded trim work. And they were often painted white in period.
Mhm.
But that's not
that.
not the portion of shingle style from which this house quotes. And so that's why
I understand your perspective. I would also submit to you, however, though, that, this is 2014, and that every time that we do a new design, we should be open to the development of historical precedent and reinterpretation of that, not complete departures, but there is there is the potential that there are new languages that are being expressed. I mean, 50 years from now, 100 years from now, you could probably look back and identify stylistic changes. And I think it's difficult to attach, labels to style movements. You can in very, in general terms, you certainly can. But if you really start to dissect and analyze those different movements, you'll find great variation within those. And so I would just say to be open to that.
But you have to read if you've never read the rural road guidelines.
I've read it. I
you
know
need to
exactly what
read
you're
it.
talking about. And I don't disagree with
Also,
you.
when a design specifically comes in, and it's predicated that you get that design because it's not white, as opposed to exploring other architectural combinations, that is an entirely different issue. This is the 3rd time we said not white on this structure because of that design.
I think you're
and it was
confusing it.
predicated with not having white, because primarily for me the columns. So to be asked again is not going to change my mind as to why I approved that design there on that small lot, on a triangular lot. It's not going to change. My mind on white is never going to change on that house. So I can just say that right now
I
because
think it's
of that
clear.
design and that location.
I would say this is the first time we've come back for the color change.
think you and I
you're
talked
thinking
about
of
it before.
another one.
And there was one there.
And I would just say,
that
I do agree with the board's policy, and I explain this to clients, that there are certain houses that, where's this whole gray trim, darker trim come from? And I agree that there are instances where it does make sense. Is that me or you?
That's me. Okay,
So I'm not
I've
completely
gotta go
opposed to
in
white
8 minutes.
everywhere. Thank you.
David,
Matt.
you've said that you're holding for revisions. Is that your motion?
Before this applicant leaves, Madam Chair, we do have the one other item.
All in favor of David's motion to hold for revisions?
Aye.
There you go. What else, James?
Another color change that was originally posted and legally posted, so it could be heard, but was not on the agenda. Do you want that to go? This is Vogel, 22 Blackfish.
Is there
Similar issue.
are there multiple Vogel applications, which is why there were 3 on there. I know one was a duplicate.
It wasn't a duplicate, so what it was...
No, there were 3 separate ones, Matt. There was one on ratification, there was one on old business, and there was one on new business. And two of them were duplications. You only have how many Vogel applications?
There's actually two.
Two, all right. So one was a duplicate, which I did take off. I had no idea what the hell this was.
Yeah, so just to clarify what it was, is I advised the owner to omit the trim detail / color issue and focus on the window door changes to get those, and then to focus specifically on the trim detail color issue.
So is that what this one is, the
So
trim
you guys
detail and
approve the window
colors?
door changes,
Right.
and then we simultaneously submit,
Okay.
just so that they're clear and they're not.
Shall I
It
include this
it
in
was
the-
on. Go ahead and take it.
Shall I include this in the view pack?
I mean, my suggestion would be if you will, yeah, I mean, if we could just get on the next new business, or the next meeting would be great.
Which would be the
On
4th.
March 4th meeting. of
Yeah,
the
is that all right?
Mm-hmm.
March 4th. All right, so this is Vogel, and what is it again? Trim?
Trim.
And what? And window color?
Actually, the color doesn't change, it's actually more of a trim detail change.
All right, that's what I couldn't figure out what was going on.
And just, we're coming with a bunch of different options.
Okay.
Put
That'll
that
go on
on
the
your
fourth.
list. I have a question. It
Hold
shouldn't be
it. Do you wanna
brought
ask
up at
him?
this meeting. It
It's
should
not. We're
brought-
putting it on the 4th.
I know, but to say in here, we're going to vote to put it on the
John,
view
it was-
list.
You don't need to vote. It's already on the old agenda for Tuesday. It was confusing because there were 3 Vogel applications and they only had 2. So that's why we didn't know which one was which.
This will come up on the 4th. then.
It'll be coming up on the 4th.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So now we're going to Tracy Murray, Bank Street.
The reason I'm careful is because the Attorney General.
I know.
gave me a
Entirely
fine.
reasonable, be careful, John. 23
Thank
Bank
you,
Street.
sorry.
Application for patios and walkways, and regular bluestone with grass in between.
I believe Sconset had no opinion on this. I can't remember. I put it on here for a reason.
It was just on Thursday, just because it came in maybe after the,
No, actually, it was on their agenda but no file. That's what we had. So they never saw it, did they?
no, it was not.
Right.
Which lot is it on? I'm looking.
It
Doesn't show.
is, I marked it on some of them. Did I not mark it on all of them?
Is it number 57?
Hold on, I found it the other day.
It looks like it,
It's this one, John,
but there's no cottage in the
right
back.
there. No, they've demolished one.
Okay.
David, it's this one.
It's 57, right?
Yeah,
It's that corner one that they're rehabbing
Yeah.
and fixing so it's not imploding.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
David?
This is just for the paving? Am I correct?
That was what the application calls for, yes. It does, yep, patio, 2 patios, bluestone walkways.
I'm not seeing things that concern me.
Okay, I just wanted you to look at it because nobody had a chance to review it.
Yeah.
Okay. David, do you want to make a motion?
Motion to approve?
Okay, David's made a motion to approve. All those in favor? Okay. Abby, you are saying yes down there, you think, right?
Yes, yes,
There you go.
Yes.
Okay, and then we're going to Goldman. And James, you and I need to, today or tomorrow, look at the stuff that came in on the trolley, that's on the trolley.
Okay.
Because if they're all new businesses as opposed to revisions, we're going to have to put them on the 4th because they're 3 weeks past due if we wait till the 11th.
Correct.
That's why some of these got on here, is because they were new business.
That interpretation seems odd, because it seems like would mean you'd have to file the paperwork for 7 days, 2 hours before the meeting was held.
Oh,
All right, so 51 Ridge Lane. You get a copy? Photos.
I didn't really have a chance to.
This is for an application for Newport roof, expanding existing deck area to 1,243 square feet from 618, which is doubling the size of it, combining 2 second floor decks into one, adding a new porch and porch roof.
The reason why this is on here, because it's like basically new, just simple stuff, is this. It's going to 10 feet. Isn't that 10 feet? I don't have my scale.
It's the largest deck I think I've ever seen.
First floor? I don't care about the first floor. This is where the problem is, right here. Right now, it's, even with that piece underneath it, it's going out, I believe, from 8 to 10. You're going to have to measure it.
No,
And that's why I was having the issue. It's going past where it is now
it's going, yeah, it is going from 8 to
to
10.
10. And that's where I didn't have the problem with connecting them out there. What do I care? Nobody can see it. It's on the back. It's going to 10. And then it became an issue of visibility. But it's on that corner lot. This is where it is, right here, I believe. Is it, David? Right here?
Well, it is on a corner lot, so the backyard is actually, side yard to the street.
Yeah.
And that huge deck is going toward the street.
Right here.
Toward the street.
The first floor, I don't care. You can't see the first floor because of the foliage on the corner, because they can't touch the corner. It's part of the open space. But when you go out on the second floor, that's where I had a bit of an issue.
The deck is coming out 20 feet from the house.
That's the first floor deck.
I know what it is.
You want to take a viewing?
35 feet long.
Not on the view list.
Yeah.
I don't think the first floor at grade is going to make a difference.
It's only
that second
10, it's
floor.
only 10 feet 4 inches from the property line. I think it could be an issue. I think if it's approvable, we at least want to consider having a vegetative restriction as a condition of the
I
approval.
think they already do on the planning board cluster, just so you know. It's undisturbed, can't do anything to it. But I want you to view it first to make sure that's
Okay,
enough.
I would like, my motion is to view with any associated restrictions on planting that attach to that development.
Dave, where's the 35 feet?
It comes 20 feet out from the house.
The first floor deck, John, the first floor.
deck.
Go to the floor plan, first floor.
Huge.
Let me see that. John, let me have the numbers plan for some of that. He's looking at the first floor.
Okay, here we go. John, have a look. Here's the house. The deck comes all the way out to here.
Oh, I guess.
So that's 20 feet, and that is 35 feet. Okay?
David,
Goes all, and the deck starts here, goes all the way around to there.
All right, see this?
Oh,
Right
yeah.
here, right
Yeah,
here,
know
right
it
here,
well.
right here, right here, right here. That is
Yes.
all restricted for it's a cluster subdivision, so it was all pulled in.
Okay.
This is all open green space, undisturbed.
Okay.
All of this around it, and right in through here. It's all part of the planning board restriction from 30 years ago.
That's fine, but my recollection is that along this piece of road, it's high pines with relatively little understory,
That's what I want you to look at.
and there's good visibility to the side of the
All
house.
right, so David's made a motion to hold for review. I'll ask him about that. It's at the planning board, it's a monster plan.
It was either this house or the one just behind it that came in 3 years ago for
Further up.
solar. And there
Two
was,
doors up.
yeah, and there was some visibility, but we determined that it was not so great that we couldn't approve it. But there is visibility there.
David's made a motion to hold for review. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Abby?
Hi.
Okay. Okay. Hold everything else. I'll get to town council next week because his kids are back in school next week, so he'll be back.
I want to voice that I'm very concerned. We were supposed to get input from town council right after the Christmas holidays so that a number of these properties would not go through the winter open to the weather. And that is exactly what's happening. I'm asking at every meeting for an update, and at every meeting there's no new information. I really strenuously object that we are getting no action on this, and there's never any development to report.
I'm not sure of what's going on. I'll
Well,
find out. You're directing me to find out, correct?
I'm making a motion that directs the chair
Okay.
to determine why we would have had no response from town council, to obtain a response from town council, and thirdly, to advise the town manager and the head of the Plus department that we are encountering this difficulty, so they understand the burdens under which we labor.
Okay. Got it. That's your motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
That's
Somebody
all of
wanna-
the updates, all of them?
I'll try.
Yeah.
Somebody wants to make a motion to adjourn?
I do have something for the record first.
Yep,
On Tuesdays, I was listening to the audio,
Tuesday.
and a comment was made that I refused to do the minutes for February 6th.
That didn't come from me.
And the comment was that there were additional comments I won't go into. I just wanted on the record, sure, I did not refuse. I was told by my superior not to do the minutes, as it was not a legal meeting.
Right.
Just for the record, so that's clear.
But what we did ask is that your notes get transmitted to James, because we reaffirmed it all, and we
I have no
don't,
notes. Well, the only notes I have are
from the tape.
Tuesday's meeting.
Okay. I've got notes. I'll give them to you so
Yeah.
you know what
Now,
we
I-
reaffirmed. That's the
What I
problem.
did do is in the motion put that notes from the February 6th would be, I can't remember exactly.
Transmitted.
Bloop-de-doop, but I
Yeah.
just wanted you to know. I did
Right.
not refuse.
Good.
I actually offered to.
That's what I thought. It didn't sound right. But James, if you can get those from Terry, but otherwise I'll give you my notes so you know exactly what we reaffirmed.
Okay?
That would be helpful.
That's what you need in the notes.
Yeah, so we can know what it is we voted on to reaffirm.
Yeah.
I think a couple of them were revisions and one was a view, and I think we approved one.
And those probably would should go in the files, but
Yeah,
I
okay.
have been told to end up on the meeting.
I have
Terry, what date
notes.
was that?
That was February
6th.
February 6th.
Somebody make a motion to adjourn at 2:02.
So moved.
David's made a motion to adjourn at 2:02. All those in favor?
Aye.
James, what do you got? Just one box?
How about
If
your
that?
vacation?
Yeah, everybody,
Good vacation.
we'll see you after it all, when everybody's healthy.